Now at 7 o'clock, newly released video shows the moments a Clackamas County deputy repeatedly punches a man with intellectual disabilities. This moment now the center of a federal lawsuit. Plus,
was literally running, through the house, collecting all the pictures from the house and the garage.
Residents forced to evacuate from the Boeing fire burning on the Washington side of the gorge will have the latest in efforts to contain. But first,
I never wanted to not be playing for this organization, but to be back in this community.
Back in this community, back with the Blazers. We're going to hear from Dame Lillard about what it means to be a Blazer once again. KGW News at Sunrise, streaming live here at 7 o'clock, starts right now.
good morning, and thank you for joining us live at 7 o'clock on your Tuesday. I'm China Green.
And I'm Drew Carney. You might say that Dame time is back, Chris McGinnis, but for right now, it is your time to talk about the weather and the traffic.
We are talking about clouds this morning. Yeah, we are waking up to a solid cloud deck over downtown Portland. You can see that little sliver of daylight on the horizon. The clouds are very thin, right? These will burn off pretty quickly, but for now, this is what we're seeing in Portland. 60 last check at PDX. We're 55 in Hillsborough, Beaverton waking up to 53, Scappoose at 58, and over to the east. Troutdale right now, one of the warmer spots on this map at 59, down to the South Salem at 57. All right, the plan for today, our Tuesday, again, starting off with the cloud cover, temperatures kind of hovering in the upper 50s to low 60s through mid-morning, and sometime between 9 and noon, those clouds should be out of here. We will finish the day with full sunshine and much warmer temperatures. You know, Portland only hit 78 degrees yesterday. Today, a lot warmer, about 86 or so, and then tomorrow we'll dial it up a little bit more, and we keep it dry. All right, let's get you out the door with a look at your drive times. Building a little bit, but not bad. 17 minutes, the inbound Sunset from Hillsborough, 16 minutes the drive from Hazeldale up near Main Street. I-5 southbound traffic, again, building a little bit. This is really our first sort of slow spot of the morning drive. It's been relatively uneventful for most of us this morning, so that's good. I do want to remind folks down in the Donald Aurora area, Marion County, if northbound I-5 is your drive, you can't get on the freeway from that interchange for the next 2 weeks. That's closed as ODOT continues reconfiguring that interchange, and the northbound Highway 551 drive, which was very slow yesterday, is slow again. Guys, that's what that red line is showing here, so pack your patience, plan some extra time if that's part of your morning commute for the next 2 weeks. Drew?
All right, thank you, Chris. Let's get to our news headlines here at 7 o'clock. Police arrested a man after an hours-long standoff at the Mall 205 Target store in Southeast Portland. This started around 10:30 yesterday morning when police say the man threatened a security guard with a knife and a hatchet, then ran inside the store. Officers eventually found the man hiding in a storage area. Crisis negotiators talked with him for more than 5 hours before he finally dropped that knife and surrendered.
A man charged with stabbing several people at the Union Gospel Mission in Salem last month was back in court yesterday. Tony Williams is accused of injuring 12 people in that stabbing attack. His attorney filed a motion arguing Williams is not fit to proceed and should be taken to the Oregon State Hospital. A few days ago, a doctor did a psychological evaluation and told the court that she believes Williams needs 3 to 6 months of treatment at the hospital. No decision was made in court yesterday, so Williams remains in custody without bail.
Oregon State Police are looking into the circumstances surrounding a man who died in Columbia County when his car crashed and a deputy shot him. Authorities say on Sunday, 47-year-old Kyle Graham led deputies on a chase near Deer Island and Highway 30 before he crashed off an embankment. State police say Graham was armed after that crash, and that's when they say a Columbia County Sheriff's deputy opened fire. That deputy is now on leave. Authorities did not say whether Graham fired his gun. It's also not clear why deputies were chasing him to begin with, but they say he also led police on a different chase the day before and got away.
A man has filed a lawsuit against Clackamas County after a deputy repeatedly punched him in the head when he was in jail back in 2023.
So the lawsuit claims that deputies used excessive force against the man. It also claims he's intellectually disabled. We're getting a look at the security video that shows this encounter. We do want to warn you first, though, that this video may be difficult for some people to watch.
Video from inside a holding cell shows Antoine Williams asleep on a jail bed when Deputy Gina Marie Fisher enters, touches his back, then lifts up his shirt. According to her report, she asked him to remove a second shirt he was wearing. After several seconds, Williams removes a shirt and then throws it at Fisher's legs. Then he tosses a jail smock at her head. Fisher then punches Williams 7 times in the head and face. while another deputy grabs his arm. Williams is then taken to the ground, restrained, and removed from the jail cell.
So if a person who's on this video, who's getting punched repeatedly over and over and over and over again, that's outrageous. It's not fair. It's not okay for anybody to go through that.
Williams' mom, Diane Robertson, says she felt sick seeing her son punched like that. Lawyers on behalf of her son filed a federal lawsuit alleging Clackamas County violated his civil rights and his rights as a vulnerable person with a disability. She says he struggled with mental illness since he was a teenager.
I felt better when my child was incarcerated than I knew where he was.
In her report, Deputy Fisher said she punched Williams because she feared Williams might attack her after the smock hit her face, blocking her vision. Oregon State Police investigated the encounter and charged Fisher with 2 counts of official misconduct and harassment. She pled guilty to a lesser charge of official misconduct and was sentenced to probation and community service. Williams' mom called it a slap on the wrist.
I'm devastated, guys. I really am. It's not fair for anybody to be abused in the system, period. Whether you go to jail or you don't go to jail.
Devin Haskins, KGW News.
The sheriff's office fired Fisher this past February, and while the lawsuit doesn't ask for any specific damages, lawyers say that this could take several years to complete.
5 children were taken from a from a home after a stabbing in southeast Portland this past weekend.
And police say the kids weren't physically hurt, but they can't imagine the mental toll that they're dealing with after what they witnessed. Child advocacy centers have therapists who are trained to talk to kids who've undergone trauma. They say children can be affected by all levels of violence. Local psychiatrist Amy Stober talked to us about some of the strategies involved in talking to a child who's experienced trauma.
What happened, how they felt, what occurred in the aftermath, and how that child is now safe and supported. It helps that child make sense of an incident.
So far, investigators tell us one woman died during this southeast Portland stabbing on Saturday, and police arrested the suspect a few hours later in Vancouver, but they haven't released either of their names.
Just feels like the perfect situation at the perfect time.
Damian Lillard officially back here in Portland. So last night we got to hear from the All-Star guard for the first time since he rejoined the Blazers, signing that new 3-year deal.
As KGW's Catherine Cook reports, Lillard came back for both professional and personal reasons.
Holding up the letter O, Damian Lillard smiled before a packed press room, a Portland Trailblazer once again.
You know, it means a lot to me to not only play for this organization again. I never wanted to not be playing for this organization, but to be back in this community.
Lillard said his return to Portland feels like the perfect situation at the perfect time. Last month, the Milwaukee Bucks waived Lillard after he suffered a torn Achilles tendon during the playoffs. He'll spend the first of his 3-year, $42 million contract with Portland in rehab, but that's just on paper.
I told him that this year he's going to be the highest paid assistant coach in league history.
Even while he was with the Bucks, Lillard says he paid close attention to the Blazers, often pondering how he'd fit into the roster. He says he never counted Portland out, even if others did.
Maybe because it's Portland, people may not be willing to say it, but you know, it's all there. You know, from the talent to the depth to having it on both sides of the ball, it's all there.
Just really thankful to Dame for trusting in us, for believing in us, and for coming back.
Lillard says the move was also for his family, especially his 3 young kids. They were by his side Saturday when he signed his contract. He waited until that moment to tell them the news.
Turned around and my daughter was looking at me and I told her, and she was like, wait, so like, we don't have to get on the airplane to Milwaukee no more? I was like, yeah, like y'all don't gotta get on the plane no more. And she was like, so you're gonna be at your house in Portland the whole time? I was like, yeah.
Catherine Cook, KGW News.
I mean, I don't recall there being this much excitement about the Blazers since maybe the last time Dame hit one of those last-second playoff clinching.
Buzzer beaters.
Yeah, buzzer beaters. Really cool to see him back. Of course, it's going to be a while before we get to see him play because he's out this entire season, rehabbing that Achilles injury.
Will he be on the court, like in
I
full dress?
I think that's part of the reason he wanted to sign with the team this year instead of just rehabbing on his own, is that he will be around the team.
Okay.
And Chauncey Billups even said in that piece that he's going to be the most expensive, highest paid assistant coach in the league this year, because he's going to be there, you know, kind of helping the guys along the way.
Yeah.
And cheerleader too. And all that. Yeah, and the mentorship, obviously, that somebody with that veteran experience and whatnot is going to be able to provide for them is just awesome. We love Dame. We're glad to have him back, right? What a great story. All right, let's start off with this from Sherwood. This is our Chehalem tasting room camera. You can see actually the cloud cover has worked its way in a little farther south than even I was expecting this morning. You can't see the Cascades off in the distance, but certainly you can see the sun above those morning clouds. And yeah, that is a sign of things to come, as in the sun will come out not too long from now. But for now, we are waking up to clouds down low, up high. The clouds are very, very thin. This is the look from Timberline pointed south towards Mount Jefferson, and we can't even see the tops of the clouds in the Cascade foothills anymore. So we're already starting to erode some of that morning cloud cover. But it's thick over downtown, and last check, we're 60 degrees at the airport, waking up to temperatures generally the upper 50s to low 60s. Camas right now at 56. Oregon City, good morning to you folks. In Clackamas County, 53, 54 in Almsville. Corvallis, one of the cooler spots right now at 49. Our futurecast shows those morning clouds eroding as we go towards the lunch hour, and we will finish the day with full sunshine for the west part of the state. In fact, almost all of Oregon sunny. There is at least the chance for a couple showers popping up in eastern Oregon this afternoon. But outside of that, we are high and dry and progressively warmer as well. Yesterday, Portland only made 78 degrees. Today, we're shooting for a high of about 86. Warmer still tomorrow. Say hello to Willie. Willie is today's KGW Dog of the Day. If you want to get a proper sunrise shout out to your favorite four-legged friend, use that email, or I should say, send us a photo to that email address on your screen. All one word, dogoftheday@kgw.com. Thank you, Gail. Willie, what a sweetheart. All right, let's show you the 7-day forecast again. Warmer today, 86, warmer still on Wednesday. And then because that's just too darn warm, we'll dial back the heat a little bit as we go into the final weekend of July. Not a drop of rain in my 7-day forecast. Let's get you out the door with a look at the roads right now. We'll start off zooming into Clark County. I believe I-5 southbound is kind of our first significant slow spot of the morning. No, I will not show you that. I will show you Marion County, and this is a big deal. For the last couple days and continuing for 2 weeks, the Donald on-ramp to I-5 northbound is closed round the clock as ODOT continues reconfiguring that. So all of that northbound traffic that would be accessing I-5 is using Highway 551. And Drew and China, if you look on the side of the map there, you can see that northbound I-5 drive, or excuse me, Highway 51 drive, putter along at 9 miles an hour. So not a fun morning for those folks. Outside of that, guys, no major issues out there just yet.
Thank you, Chris. Still to come on Sunrise, we're taking a look back at the history of 4 fantastic heroes ahead of the release of Marvel's brand new movie. Plus, on a report showing the big, beautiful bill may cost the government some big bucks. We'll have the latest on Capitol Hill. Sunrise streaming live at 7 continues right after this.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
China, I can tell you're at the edge of your seat because of this. This news has you right there at the edge. The highly anticipated Fantastic Four First Steps hits movie theaters this Thursday.
This isn't the first Fantastic Four movie to grace the silver screen. Reporter Rick Damigella takes a look at the history of the iconic heroes.
We all know the story. 4 brave astronauts head up into space and come back forever changed.
The Fantastic Four First Steps is the latest big screen incarnation of Marvel Comics' first family.
Mr. Fantastic, Invisible Woman, Human Torch, and The Thing.
But of the quartet of Fantastic Four films that came before it, only 3 made it to theaters.
They become the most powerful superheroes of all time.
1994's The Fantastic Four never received an official release. Its story is explored in the 2015 documentary Doomed, the untold story of Roger Corman's The Fantastic Four.
You know that look cool.
2005 did see the release of Fantastic Four starring Chris Evans and Jessica Alba. It was followed 2 years later by Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer.
You should use these powers to help people.
20th Century Fox tried rebooting the franchise with a new cast in 2015, but the movie went on to be the lowest grossing of the studio's Fantastic Four films.
I herald Galactus.
The franchise is now part of Disney's Marvel Cinematic Universe, with Pedro Pascal leading the team against an intergalactic threat.
Whatever life throws at us, we'll face it together.
No, typically, China, I consider the Sunrise Show to be the Fantastic Four. Yourself, of course, me, Rodney Hill, Chris McGinnis. This week, we're only the Fantastic Three, and this guy is struggling to keep fantastic. He's pulling double duty. He's doing the forecast for Rod. He's doing the traffic as always, and he's just getting in here in the nick of time.
Not very fantastic, I might add. But anyway, okay, I'm going to catch my breath now.
No, listen, I'm going to buy you 10 seconds. I will buy you 10 seconds, only to say that yesterday was my kind of weather for summer. Pretty cool. Not too bad at all. It's going to warm up a little bit today.
A little bit.
I don't know exactly what I'm talking about, but again, I am just buying this man some time to catch his
And that's
darn
why
breath.
Drew and China are part of the Fantastic Four. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. And to your point, Sunday was my cup of tea. Nice little cloudy day in the midst of days and days and days of assaulting summer sunshine and 90-degree heat, right? All right, we are waking up to some clouds that have actually worked their way farther south than I anticipated today, all the way down to the Sherwood area. At least you can see from our tasting room camera here, the Chehalem tasting room camera, I should say. It's not our tasting room, it's the Chehalem tasting room camera in Sherwood. And that cloud deck is very, very thin. So when we take you up to 6,000 feet on Mount Hood, we can't even see the tops of that low cloud deck here. We can see down to around 3,000 feet here, and the clouds that were there this morning have pretty much already eroded. So that's a sign of things to come. The morning clouds are pretty thick over downtown, but that's about the extent of them, and they should start to back off a little bit as we head towards the noon hour. 60 last check at PDX. We're waking up to 55 in Hillsborough, 53 Beaverton, Tigard 55. So mid to upper 50s pretty common here across the metro area. We slide down to the south, 57 right now in Salem. And interestingly, the cool spot right now, Corvallis, sitting at 49. Albany 55, but Corvallis at 49. All right, here's Futurecast this afternoon, or I should say starting with this morning, and our modeling, again, doing a nice job of picking up that marine intrusion through the mouth of the Columbia River, and then that marine air, it hits the Cascades, it gets forced up the Cascades, and those clouds then build westward and start filling in over the valley. So that's exactly what's happened this morning. As I roll the clock here, you'll see the sunshine does its part to burn that off very, very quickly. So we finished the day with sun and nice warm temperatures this afternoon. There is the chance for some showers and thunder showers popping across eastern Oregon, but outside of that, our forecast for most of the state is high and dry and warmer today as well. Here's Futurecast at 5:24 this afternoon, having temperatures in the mid-80s here in Portland, upper 70s to near 80 in Longview. So again, all of these numbers are warmer than yesterday. PDX only hit 78 yesterday. We were only 70 on Sunday. So a couple of days of below average temperatures. We start to warm it back up to 86 tomorrow, or I should say today, 90 tomorrow. That's the hottest day of the week. And then we'll dial it back down as we go to the weekend. Really quiet, uneventful late July weather here. And that's, pretty normal for this part of our Northwest summer. It's some good looking stuff here. All right, let's get you out the door. Oh, I got the wrong clicker. Let's get you out the door with a look at the roads. The first significant slow spot of the morning in Clark County, the I-5 South Drive, of course, coming in from the Interstate Bridge. That drive now is up to about 16 minutes or so to get you in from Main Street down to the Interstate Bridge. We'll switch gears real quick and bring up that's what I was looking for, the drive time here. We are 18 minutes now, to get you in from Main Street to the Fremont. And we'll switch gears and take you over to the east side. We've got some slowing on the Banfield as well. I-84 westbound traffic, that's slow, puttering along at about 12 miles an hour. 20 minutes, get you in from Troutdale to the I-5 split. We'll be right back.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Welcome back to Sunrise. President Trump is meeting with world leaders today to push for new trade deals. That meeting comes as the Congressional Congress reports on just how much the president's big, beautiful bill will actually cost. NBC's Alice Barr has more on this for us from Washington, D.C.
President Trump today meeting with the president of the Philippines, expected to talk trade 10 days out from sweeping reciprocal tariffs set to hit trading partners around the world. The Treasury Secretary saying the administration is not rushing trade negotiations.
We are more concerned with high quality deals than getting these deals done by August 1st.
As U.S. businesses brace for the impact of higher import taxes and weigh passing costs on to consumers, a new report from the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office projecting the president's One Big Beautiful Bill Act will add $3.4 trillion to the national debt, with spending and lost revenue from extended tax cuts far outstripping cuts to programs like Medicaid, expected to cost 10 million Americans their health insurance.
Republicans' signature bill is the ultimate betrayal of the American people.
Republicans emphasizing the law's provisions like no tax on tips, as leadership tries to brush off efforts led by House Republican Thomas Massie to force a vote on releasing the full files about notorious sex offender Jeffrey Epstein.
There is no daylight between the House Republicans, the House, and the president on maximum transparency.
The House Speaker arguing to give the administration space, with the White House underscoring President Trump's request to unseal grand jury testimony and for the DOJ and FBI to release any other credible evidence, seeking to push past a lingering controversy still dividing the MAGA base. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Here's a look at some other national headlines with your Morning Rush. The White House has released thousands of files related to the 1968 assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., despite his family's opposition. More than 240,000 pages were unsealed years earlier than planned, following an order from President Trump. It's not clear if these documents reveal any new information, though. Brian Kohberger will be sentenced tomorrow for the 2022 murders of 4 University of Idaho students. He avoided the death penalty by pleading guilty earlier this month, but he never gave a motive. He'll have a chance to speak in court tomorrow before being sentenced to life without parole. The victims' families will also give impact statements. And President Trump is threatening to block a new stadium deal for Washington's NFL team unless he says the team changes its name back to the Redskins. The Washington Commanders dropped that name back in 2020. They rebranded as the Commanders in 2022. The president also called for Cleveland's baseball team to return to its old name, the Indians. Both teams say they have no plans to reverse their name changes. And that's a look at your Morning Rush. Coming up in our next half hour of Sunrise, we're tracking the latest on the Boeing fire burning on the Washington side of the gorge. Plus, what to do, or what should I say, do, a dolphin, 3 orange lobsters, and a man all have in common? Well, you might call all of them lucky. How they beat the odds when Sunrise continues.
KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
We are coming up on 7:29 on our Tuesday morning drive. We've got the normal slow spots out there. I-5 from Clark County bunches up at SR 500. There's the live look at SR 14, so puttering a little bit across the Interstate Bridge. We lost that camera. Sorry about that. But 20 minutes now, the drive in from Main Street down to the Fremont. Also a little slow on I-84, the Banfield through the Gateway District. Right now, your total drive to get you in from Troutdale is manageable, but slow. 22 minutes now from Marine Drive west to the I-5 split. All right, let's get you out the door with a look at our Chehalem tasting room camera in Sherwood. Cloud cover has made its way all the way down into the Sherwood area. And you can see that here kind of lining up against the Cascades. We'll switch gears and give you the look from downtown. Kind of a slate gray sky over downtown from our Wells Fargo camera. It's 60, last check at PDX. We start the day Partly sunny or mostly cloudy, but we will clear pretty quickly. I think as we head towards noon or shortly thereafter, we are back into full sunshine, and today will be warmer, noticeably warmer than yesterday. 86 this afternoon, with highs near 90 or better on Wednesday before we cool down a bit for the rest of the week.
Starting our 7:30 half hour of sunrise with a live look from our Pioneer Courthouse Square cam, looking out to the east. And we can tell you right now that it is going to be warmer today than yesterday. Chris has been talking all morning about temperatures reaching the mid-80s in Portland. Also, since we are using the Pioneer Courthouse Square cam, can I quickly mention, gang, that Noon Tunes continues at the Square today. So during the months of June and July, there are free concerts happening at the Square Tuesdays and Thursdays. So yeah, we're nearing the end of July, so time is running out if you haven't caught one of these yet. I'll be down there today at the Square at noon to kick off today's concert featuring a young woman by the name of A.C. Sapphire. So there you go.
A.C. Sapphire.
She's got the name.
There you go. Now she's got to deliver the songs.
And she's going to have Drew to hang out with too.
Chris, you can go ahead and do the weather.
I will do that. Okay. We are live right now from our Chehalem tasting room camera in Sherwood. And the cloud cover certainly made its way a little farther south than anticipated earlier this morning. Just a sign of that marine air that's kind of been seeping in here, working its way up against the Cascades. That will burn off, and we will see plenty of sun as we go into the afternoon. But for now, it's cloudy. It's 60 last check at PDX. And we are starting our day with thick clouds across the Portland-Vancouver metro area. But as we've been mentioning, those clouds will burn off. Yesterday, let's take it back to Sunday. Sunday was 70. Yesterday, 78. So temperatures have been below average the last few days. We're going to warm it up significantly today, up to about 86 or so in town, and maybe a little bit warmer as we head into tomorrow. We'll look at that part of your forecast in a minute. Let's get out the door with a quick check of the trip out of Clark County. And I-5 South is our big slow spot right now. It sits at about 20 minutes or so to get you in from Main Street. Westbound 84 tight through the Gateway District as well. This is I-205 right here, and this is I-84 down below. So westbound right now getting you in from Troutdale, averaging about 23 minutes at last check. And the trip in from Wilsonville, 24 minutes from Wilsonville Road to downtown. Drew, China.
Thank you, Chris. The primary focus of our wildfire coverage this week is the Burdoin fire burning on the Washington side of the gorge in Clackamas County.
It started late last week and has already destroyed homes and forced communities to evacuate. So here's a look at how it all unfolded. It started just after 2:30 last Friday afternoon near Lyle, Washington. Gusty winds and dry brush fueled the spread, and by Friday night, the fire had grown to more than 1,500 acres, forcing level 3 evacuations and closing SR 14.
It grew to 6,000 acres on Saturday, jumping the Klickitat River, pushing east and destroying homes along the way.
And by Sunday, the fire had burned more than 8,500 acres. At least 14 homes have been lost. Dozens more damaged. Level 1, 2, and 3 evacuation orders remain in place. And as of this morning, the fire has surpassed 10,000 acres and is still 0% contained.
KGW's Alma McCarty brings us the latest after talking to people at an evacuation shelter, some of them already dealing with the fact that their home is gone.
As the Burdoin fire still burns in the hills.
And the smoke was a black smoke, a big wall of it. I couldn't see, I had to turn around.
79-year-old Audrey Bruce recalls what she lost.
I'm just sick. All I think about is my little dog. When I see them photos, I just think of my little dog. And Tommy and Annie, they both died. They went up and they found him in the house. Where the house was. They were laying side by side.
Her dogs, her home, and her garden gone in mere moments.
I worked out of there all my life.
The fire, 0% contained and cause undetermined, drew more than 400 fire crews here to suppress and contain it.
It's just grown tremendously in terms of, initially 2 acres, 1,500 acres, and then it just tripled and doubled in size.
Living near the top of Burdoin Mountain and in the middle of the evacuation zone, Ken Blue packed up his SUV.
Took all of the windsurfing equipment out of it, because that stuff could be replaced, and scrambled, was literally running, through the house, collecting all the pictures from the house and the garage.
He'll spend the night here at the Red Cross shelter at Grace Baptist Church in White Salmon, hoping, like many, to return home soon.
Kids have grown up here and so many memories. I'm just hoping that the firefighters get the upper hand on it.
We're still at risk. The winds are still here.
It's going to get drier this week.
White Salmon resident and volunteer Emma Pfister says the Gorge community has and will continue to step up, aiding fire victims however they can.
It's a beautiful thing to see in a really dark moment, but this community is very strong and will be bounced back soon.
Alma McCarty, KGW News.
Meanwhile, crews in Central Oregon have made significant progress on the Cram fire. This is the largest wildfire in the U.S. so far this year, and this video shows crews from Clackamas County working on the fire's edge to prevent flare-ups. The Cram fire is 73% contained at this point, although it already has burned nearly 96,000 acres. Evacuation levels have been lowered in parts of Jefferson, Wasco, and Crook counties.
In Deschutes County, a second body has been recovered after 6 people went over Dillon Falls west of Bend while tubing over the weekend. 3 people were rescued and taken to the hospital. 2 others died. Crews are still looking for the remaining body.
Our operations primarily consist around using dive teams to search areas of interest based on information we've received both from canine teams that have been searching the area in conjunction with our Marine Patrol, as well as drone flights.
Officials say that they will continue their efforts to find the 6th person for however long it takes. There are signs posted around the area warning people floating on the river to get out before the drop.
The Hollywood Library in Northeast Portland is closing today as part of an ongoing library renovation project in Multnomah County. New features at the library will include an upgraded children's area, a tech bar, fresh paint, and new carpet. The work is expected to continue until at least sometime this winter. This is all part of the voter-approved 2020 library building bond.
The city of Portland is turning 3 apartment buildings into affordable housing. Back in 2024, the city of Portland asked for proposals of existing apartment buildings that they could buy and then convert into affordable housing. 3 buildings were chosen, costing the city more than $25 million. By the end of this summer, more than 200 new affordable housing units will be available. Most are restricted to people who make 50% or less of the area's median income, or about $50,000 for a 2-person household. Current tenants are able to stay with no changes to their lease. They may also qualify for reduced rent or get paid to move.
If they do feel like leaving, they are being offered some relocation assistance as sort of an acknowledgement of the fact that, this changes your understanding of what the building that you moved into is like now.
And everybody should have a chance. Everybody should have a chance to have a home.
Blair Best and our team at The Story heard from more tenants who are concerned about how this might change the surrounding neighborhood and what the city is doing to prevent that. You can watch the full story streaming anytime on KGW+.
All right, before we get back to Chris McGinnis, how about a look at downtown Portland on this Tuesday? Cloudy skies overhead. This is a look from our Rose City Skycam. Cloudy now, but I imagine it's going to get sunny rather quickly, Chris, because you are talking about temperatures in the mid-80s today.
You've been here a while. You're used to those summer mornings. Start off cloudy and we see sunshine. That's exactly what we've got this morning. This is our visible satellite imagery, and if you look now that we've got more light of day, the satellite does a really nice job of, one, picking up the topography along the Oregon Coast Range, right? So we get the marine layer that pushes into some of the higher points in the Coast Range. The coast is socked in. The marine layer and that cloud cover has pushed up through the mouth of the Columbia and into the Portland metro area, and in fact, all the way down to about Tualatin, and we can see it on our Chehalem tasting room camera in the Sherwood area as well. So pretty good marine intrusion here this morning. That will burn off very quickly, and we will eventually see sun in our forecast this afternoon. The beach right now, here's the live look from the Chinook Winds Casino Resort camera in Lincoln City. Again, socked in, it's 56 there. We'll switch gears and show you the downtown look. You see a little sliver of daylight there on the horizon from atop the Wells Fargo building, and we go up higher. This is from Timberline, looking down on those clouds that have worked their way into the Cascades. Once again, those are all going to retreat pretty quickly here by mid to late morning, and we will have sunshine. We're starting off with 55, and that's a popular number. Beaverton, Hillsborough, and Forest Grove all checking in with 55. Same story in Dallas and Kaiser and Estacada. All right, the plan for today, Futurecast shows those clouds this morning retreating, and we will finish the day with sun. There is an outside chance of a thunder shower in eastern Oregon. That is it. The rest of the state is high and dry and progressively warmer today. So as I show you Futurecast temperatures, you'll see we go from 70 on Sunday to 78 yesterday to 86 today. So a noticeable warm up today. East Gorge into the 90s. Arlington getting up to about 92. All right, as we check out the 7-day forecast, tomorrow is, well, after we get past today, 86 the high for today with skies becoming mostly sunny. All right, let's go into tomorrow. 90 is the peak of the heat, and then we dial it down a little bit, but guys, we keep the sunshine going all week long. Let's get out the door with your traffic update, and I want to start off in Marion County. This has been a slow spot yesterday and the last couple of days. So the Donald Aurora on-ramp to I-5 North is closed for 2 weeks as ODOT continues work on that interchange project. So consequently, all that northbound traffic is using Highway 551. So that is extra busy this morning. Just pack your patience there. That's going to be a few weeks to deal with that. We'll switch gears, take you to Clark County. I-5 southbound, of course, slow and go at the Interstate Bridge. And that's what it looks like through North Portland, all 3 lanes puttering along down towards the Fremont. Right now, it's a 20-minute ride to get you in from Main Street to I-405.
All right, thank you, Chris. Still to come here on Sunrise, stories about beating the odds, including one about 3 ultra-rare orange lobsters pardoned from the boiling pot, and also a lucky fella who's millions of dollars richer after buying 2 separate winning lottery tickets in the very same day. Sunrise, streaming live at 7 o'clock, continues in 2 minutes.
But first, we wanted to tell you that the KGW School Supply Drive is coming soon to a school district near you, and you can join us. So just go to kgw.com/school to sign up your business or organization to be an official school supply drive collection site. Help us collect school supplies and send thousands of kids and teachers in the area back to school with the tools they need.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
Welcome back to Sunrise. The odds of encountering a bright orange lobster are very low, roughly 1 in 30 million, as a matter of fact. I had no idea. So the fact that an animal advocacy group saved 3 of them from being sold in supermarkets in the same month is pretty remarkable.
Something else that's remarkable, yes. The man who won the lottery twice in one day. CNN's Jeremy Roth has more on the odd-defying moments in today's Take a Look at This.
Animal advocacy workers were riding high after rescuing not 1, not 2, but 3 extremely rare orange lobsters found in New England supermarkets. The organization Humane Long Island was alerted via social media that 3 very rare orange-colored lobsters had shown up in seafood shipments at 3 of a supermarket's branches in New York and Connecticut. The group rescued the crustaceans, nicknamed Peaches, Sebastian, and Claudia. That's Claudia. Get it? Because of the claws? Anyway, the trio were spared from the boiling pot and instead brought back to the marine life melting pot of the Long Island Sound. An orange lobster's genetic makeup makes it roughly a 1 in 30 million find in the wild. The odds of finding 3 in the same month at the same supermarket chain? I mean, I'm no math magician, but it's probably like 1 in a lot. Another rare catch and release scenario unfolded in South Carolina after multiple agencies coordinated the rescue of a dolphin that became trapped in a shallow low-country lagoon. During the collaborated effort, rescuers, which included firefighters, animal experts, and civilians, used a stretcher to carry the marooned dolphin some 200-plus feet to a waiting vehicle before driving it to a dock on deeper waters, where it was safely released. By the way, according to area marine researchers, the dolphin goes by the name Lucky. Finally, talk about lucky. Take a look at this Massachusetts man who's now $2 million richer after reportedly buying 2 separate Powerball tickets at 2 separate stores on the same day. Both of Paul Corcoran's tickets matched multiple numbers and paid out $1 million each, and we all just couldn't be happier for him. No, really, we are. Sorry if that sounded sarcastic. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
That's a little bit.
That's the guy from Roseanne. He's
Tom
just
Arnold?
making more money.
No,
Yeah.
not Tom Arnold. John Goodman.
Yeah.
Talking about the dad.
Yeah, we see you.
Big John Goodman. All right. Might we be lucky enough to escape the rest of the summer without hitting 100 degrees? Thoughts?
That's lucky?
You want it to be 100.
I mean, the way it goes this. Oh yeah.
I'm going to speak for what I consider to be the majority of people who would rather it stay 99 is fine.
Mm-hmm.
Can we avoid 100? Anyways,
Okay.
Thoughts?
50-50.
Okay. All right.
I mean, we've been
Way
close
to
a couple
way to
of
go out
times.
there on a limb. I've noticed it's very cool for the next 10 days.
Ish. I mean, we're okay. So we'll see the 7-day.
Okay.
But yeah, there's some signs that the heat comes back next week. But actually, to your point, it's been interesting to watch that the summer so far has been where we get this ridge that just sits up over like the Four Corners and the central U.S. And then the models keep wanting to push that westward, which would bring us heat, high heat. But every time we get closer to that happening, then they back off and we don't quite get there. And so that's kind of been the trend this summer. So actually, that's an interesting question, Drew. I'm sure you wanted to know all of my thoughts there. Let me get you to what's happening right now. This is the visible satellite imagery here up and down the I-5 corridor. You can see the cloud cover has worked its way on through the nooks and crannies in the Coast Range and here into the downtown Portland metro area. And in fact, it's worked its way all the way down to Sherwood. This is the live look from our Chehalem tasting room camera. I will say it right one of these mornings, where the clouds have made their way pretty far south. It's 55 last check in Forest Grove, Beaverton, and Hillsborough, 60 right now in Canby, Almsville sitting at 55 and 57 in Salem. Despite the fact that we have clouds out there this morning, we will turn sunny and warmer. Yesterday we were 78, Sunday we were 70, so today we'll feel significantly warmer, and we're not done warming. In fact, it'll get even warmer as we go into tomorrow. Futurecast again shows those clouds retreating back to the coast and then peeling away from the coast. That'll be a cool time lapse to have later this morning as the sun comes out along the Oregon coast. There's the outside chance of a shower or a thunder shower across eastern Oregon today. Otherwise, we are high and dry, and not only today, but really right through the 7-day forecast. Clouds to sun at the beach, mid-60s. Should do it in Astoria this afternoon. Columbia River Gorge a bit warmer than yesterday. We get up to about 90 in the Dalles with west winds up to 15 to 25 later today. Again, in eastern Oregon, there's that slight chance of storms, and that's primarily for like Burns and Baker City and Point south and east of that line. I think central Oregon's generally dry today and warmer. Bend gets up to about 84. All right, back to the I-5 corridor here again. The trend for all of us, it just keeps saying warmer than yesterday for sure. Longview gets to about 81. Salem, mid-80s, maybe 86, 87 for you folks. And here in the metro area, I've got Portland at 86 today, 90 tomorrow. That'll be the hot day of the week. And then upper 80s for Thursday and Friday. And we keep it sunny as we go into the final weekend of July. Can't believe we're already saying that. Let's get you to Clark County. There's the live look right now, I-5 near the Interstate Bridge. The end of the line looks like it's made its way to the Interstate Bridge. So we're starting to clear out on that side of the river. Farther south, of course, it gets busier as you get down towards Columbia Boulevard and the Fremont Bridge. Here's westbound I-84. That's pretty tight through the Gateway District as well. And that, of course, is normal for this hour of a Monday morning drive. Again, the drive definitely getting better on the Clark County side of things. A reminder down in Marion County, again, the Donald Aurora interchange. That is a massive ODOT project working to rebuild that over the next couple of years. This phase of it has the on-ramp closed for the next 2 weeks. So, guys, again, we've been highlighting the fact that traffic on Highway 551 northbound is extra slow in the mornings. It is once again today, and it will be for the next 2 weeks. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Chris. Boeing officially kicking off the production of its next generation fighter jet. We'll have more on that story, plus some of your consumer headlines when Sunrise Streaming Live at 7 continues.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yeah.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
Boeing has officially kicked off production for its next generation freighter jet. Bridget Chavez with our sister station in Seattle takes a look at the jet that promises to deliver some big changes to both fuel efficiency and design.
We're inside Boeing's Everett factory where crews just drilled the first hole in the wing spar of the 777-8 freighter, officially kicking off production.
2, 1, drill that hole!
And just like that,
All right, there it is.
Boeing hit a major milestone.
And this is inside the end effector where the actual drilling takes place.
Casey McDowell, who's been with the company for nearly 2 decades, did the honors.
They said, "Oh, you're going to push the button." And I said, "Okay." And then all this happened.
That single hole marks the official start of production for the 777-8 freighter. It's drilled into the first wing spar, a long reinforced beam that helps carry the weight of the jet. Each wing has 2 spars, and on this jet, they're made from carbon fiber instead of metal, a first for a Boeing freighter.
It's carbon fiber strands, pre-pregged epoxy, basically, and then it goes into an autoclave. They bake it. It becomes very hard and very strong and flexible. So like for fishing poles and things like that, same material.
Boeing says this jet can carry more cargo for less money. It's 30% more fuel efficient and about 60% quieter than the older jets it will eventually replace, like earlier 777F models.
This airplane will change economics for our operators. They'll be able to transit goods, high-value goods, around the world at pace, at scale, in their operations for consumers.
The jet was expected to fly sooner, but the timeline shifted from Boeing's initial 2027 goal.
I can't speak explicitly to the delay. What I can tell you is that we're working very hard at achieving the introduction of the 777-8 freighter.
Drilling a first hole may not seem like much.
When you step back and things like this happen, you realize how much of a big deal it is.
But it marks the beginning of something much bigger.
From this point to that point, this part becomes unrecognizable.
And for the people building this jet, there's nothing like seeing it soar.
When they take off or when they come in for a landing, especially when the tower runs them right along the road over there, it's amazing to watch them come in like that. You're like, holy cow, I had a hand in that.
In consumer headlines this morning, starting next Tuesday, travelers can begin booking tickets with assigned seats for next year on Southwest Airlines. Passengers will begin sitting in assigned seats on January 27th, and the day of 2 free checked bags by the airline are over. You now have to pay for those bags. This started about 2 months ago. 5 million above-ground swimming pools have been recalled after 9 children under the age of 3 died while using them. Brands like Best Way, Coleman, Intel, and Polygroup are all under the recall. The products were sold at Walmart, Target, Costco, and Amazon. There's a compression strap on the outside of the pool that can allow kids to climb in. Customers should call immediately to be shipped a free repair kit. And Tesla just opened its first 24-hour diner in Hollywood, complete with movie screens and classic American food. Anyone can visit, but some features are just for Tesla owners, like ordering from the car and syncing your car audio with the movie screens. The location includes 80 charging stations, and Elon Musk says more diners could open if this one takes off. Coming up at 8, KGW News at Sunrise continues live on KGW Plus with the latest on the Burdoin fire burning in the gorge right now, with evacuation orders still in place.
Plus, how Alaska Airlines is still trying to recover from Sunday night's IT outage. They canceled nearly 200 flights. We're going to take a look at the work to get things back on track. Again, the 8 o'clock hour of Sunrise is coming up next. It's about 4.5 minutes away as we close out this hour with a live look from our Timberline Skycam. Hope you're having a great start to your Tuesday. We'll have more Sunrise for you in just a few minutes.